All right, we are in this video going to talk about how to find mean absolute deviation. So mean absolute deviation is a lot of words, which basically means, if you think about what mean is, all right, it's an average, and the deviation is how far something strays from what's normal. So in this case, how far do all the numbers, how far are they away from the average? And what a mean absolute deviation is it's one number which represents the average number. All the numbers are kind of away from like what would sort of be the center or the average of the set, right? Not really the center, but the average of the set. So that's called mean absolute deviation. And what it tells us is it tells us the spread of the set. It tells us how far apart are all these numbers from each other. So a data set with a large range is going to have a higher mean absolute deviation than a data set with a smaller range. All right, so let's kind of look at a couple examples of these, and then I think this will all make a great deal of sense to you. So we're going to move this up here and look at a basic example, and then we'll look at an Alex example. All right, so the example we're going to look at number one here. It says find the mean absolute deviation of the set of data, round to the nearest tenth if necessary. So you've got these 8 numbers here, all right? So what we're going to do is, if we're going to find the mean absolute deviation, the very first thing you always want to do is you want to find, I want black. You want to find the mean first. All right? So to find the mean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 45 plus 60 plus 75 plus 90. I'm going to keep going here, plus 100 plus 75 plus 90 plus 105, and then I am going to divide whatever that sum is by how many values there are, and there's 8 values. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to add this all up. So I'm going to get 105, I'm going to get 180, I get 280, we're going to get 370, and then you get 445 right here, and then here you get 535, and then plus 105 you get 640. So we have 640 divided by 8, all right, which is great. Okay, so if we divide that by 8, we're going to get 80. All right, so that worked out kind of nice. Some of these do not work out nice. So my mean is 80. Now what I'm going to do, the next step is you are going to find the difference. So you're going to find the difference of every number. So every number from the mean. All right? And the way you do that is you think about what kind of like the distance it's away from the mean on a number line. So all these numbers are going to be positive. We're not doing positives and negatives in this. We're doing distance. So the reason it's called absolute deviation is because absolute is another way of saying absolute value, which in math is defined as the distance a number is from another one. All right. Usually it's what it is from 0, but in this case, it's what's the absolute value, the distance between each of these numbers and 80. And so for the first one, you have 45 minus 80. So the easy way to think about this is just take the number and subtract 80 from it, and you'll probably use a calculator for this. And if you do that, you're going to get a negative number. You're going to get negative 35. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the absolute value of that, all right? And so basically what that means is make it positive, right? No matter what the number is, make it positive. So in this case, this becomes 35, all right? And then you do that for everything. So you have 60 minus 80. You're going to have 75 minus 80. You're going to have 90 minus 80. You're going to have 100 minus 80. You're going to have another 75 minus 80. You're going to have another 90 minus 80. And then you're going to have 105 minus 80. So let's figure out what all those are. All right. So this first one, and I'm gonna erase this right here because I think we got the idea, right? So that one, 45 minus 80, the mean at the deviation from that is 35, right? 60 minus 80, well, that would give you negative 20, and we're taking only the positive, so that becomes 20. 75 minus 80, 75 is 5 away from 80, so that's 5. 90, you see these ones where it's bigger are nice. They're easy. 90 minus 80 is 10. 100 minus 80 is 20. 75 minus 80, that's like the other one, that's going to be 5. 90 minus 80, we did that one, that's 10. And 105 minus 80 is 25. And so now the last step before we find our number is we are now going to take all of these numbers and we're going to take the average of what the deviation is from all of these from the mean. So we're going to take all these numbers. I'm going to see if I can move this a little bit. So we're going to take all of these numbers. What? Doesn't like that, huh? Well, that's kind of unfortunate. Hand tool, great, here we go. So we're going to take all of these numbers. So we're going to take 35, I'm just going down the line here, 20, 5, 10, 20, 5, 10, and 25. And you should have as many numbers as you did before when you found the mean, right? Because you still have 8 numbers that you're checking the difference between those and the mean. So you should have 8 new numbers that you're dealing with. And so I'm going to add all those up, and I'm going to divide that again by 8. So we got 55, we get 60, 70, 90, 95, 105, 130. And so we're going to take 130, and we're going to divide it by 8. And we're going to get 1 times 8 is 8. You get 50. So we're going to get 6 there. We're going to get 2, 0. We're going to put in 16. And you're going to get 4. Bring down. So you get 16.25. So my mean absolute deviation equals 16.25. That means the average distance each number is from the average, from the mean, is 16.25. Okay? And if you think about it, that kind of makes sense. If the mean is 80, and you look at that and you say, well, the average distance away is, it's a little less than 20, a little more than 15, but less than 20, that kind of makes sense, right? So it's kind of a way to sort of look at the spread of a set of data. Okay, so that's the overall concept of how to find mean absolute deviation. So in the next video, I'm going to do 2 ALEKS examples for you. All right, but I'm going to stop the video here. So this kind of gives you a rough idea of how it works. All right.